Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I am Lindsay, the housewife historian, and I'm not going to play my intro today, guys. I'm just going to give you a quick rundown. Of course, everything in this video is alleged. Make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe to my channel, turn your notifications on. It's very important because I run all of my tea through my YouTube channel first before I take it to my other platforms. So today we're going to be talking about the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, none other than Kyle Richards and Mauricio Yermansky. If you've been following my page, then you know there are many rumors surrounding these two. We've been hearing allegations for years and years. In fact, one of the first fights we actually seen between LVP and Kyle Richards was over allegations about Mauricio Yermansky. Lisa Vanderpump also made a joke one time about like Portia being the younger woman that was allegedly seen with Mauricio, and it did not go over well. So we've seen Kyle be very sensitive when it comes, or protective, maybe is a better word, when it comes to her marriage. We saw it the same way whenever Camille Grammer had the dinner party from hell, and the psychic was talking about Kyle and Mauricio. So it's a very touchy subject. However, there are some very interesting things that I want to get to you guys. Okay. So, first of all, number one, there are rumors going around that Kyle and Mauricio are having issues in their marriage. One of these reasons is because Kim's daughter, Whitney, was actually married over the weekend in Colorado, in Aspen, which we know is Kyle and Mauricio's one of their favorite places. And the photos that we got from the wedding did not show an enduring, loving Kyle and Mauricio that we're used to seeing. It was more of a group photo. We saw Kyle on one end, Mauricio on the other. There was a photo of the girls and Mauricio and Kyle, and Farrah was standing between the two of them, and she was slightly tilted more towards Mauricio. There were also photos of just Mauricio and Farrah. Again, Kyle not tagged. So this motivated an influencer to go online and go through Kyle's Instagram. What they discovered was that she's only posted about Mauricio like 8 times in the last 6 months. Their anniversary was in January, and there was no I love you type of post. When Kyle is posting, it's more like we love you, happy Father's Day. We love you. We, as in like the girls, we, not as in like I'm so in love with you. Um, Mauricio went on the Two Teas in a Pod podcast in April. I think it came out on April 11th or 12th, which means it was probably filmed a week ahead of time. So we're going to say end of March, early April. We had Mauricio join the Two Teas in a Pod podcast, and we had him telling us that Kyle had been photographed without her ring. She was leaving a yoga studio conveniently with Teddy Mellencamp, who is, of course, podcaster to Two Teas in a Pod. And he says that the women bring it up on the show, which is very mean and cruel of them, he says. And he says they're not getting a divorce. They address it on the show. And he thought it was really shitty of the women to bring it up on camera because of the fact that all of them have been somewhere at a certain place in time where they may or may not have had their wedding ring on, and they were photographed, and it wasn't a big deal, but the press made it a big deal. And he says this is one of those situations. Okay. Now, this was way back at the end of March, beginning of April. So my question is all of this for press? Okay. Is all of this for press for the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills? We know that they only filmed for about 3 or 4 months. We know that Lisa Rinna wasn't there. We know that viewers are expecting a boring season coming from the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. It's just the way that it is. And is it possible, with as much as Kyle and Mauricio have invested in their new Netflix series Buying Beverly Hills, the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, we know Kyle is a silent producer. Is she taking one for the team here and making her marriage sort of the storyline for this season, but it's going to turn out that everything's fine and that everything was just rumors? I'm not sure, but we have to also talk about the fact that there is another person we need to factor in, and her name is Morgan Wallace. She is a country music singer. Kyle alleges she posted this photo of the two of them and said that she had a chance to listen to Morgan's album while she was driving from like California to North Dakota or somewhere crazy to film the show The North Pole. And so this would have been last year because she would have filmed it for last Christmas. And she said that she was touched by her music. And at the end of the post, she says something about kingship, kinfolk, but not folk, just kin. And I wanted to remind everyone that kin is like a family term, right? You use it for your kinfolk. They're my kin, they're my kinfolk, they're a family somehow, a cousin, whatever the case may be. And she sort of implicated that word in the post. So that has people saying either Morgan Wallace is dating Kyle Richards or she is family to Kyle Richards. Okay. Let's go over a couple of different contributing factors. We've been seeing them everywhere together. Number one. Number two, Kyle and Kathy did a hour and 45-minute live a couple right after the wedding, I think. And Morgan was, she popped in and out of the video, but at one point she pops in the video and Kyle says, should we tell them their secret? We have a secret. She looks up at Morgan, smiles, looks back down and says, Kim. Kim never comes. And Kyle, like, accordingly, oh, we said we were going to tell a secret. We didn't. That's going to be it's so blown up. It's going to get blown out of the water. Like, what do you want it to get blown out of the water? Because you do a lot of things and you give us like these little crumbs like that and then you leave us hanging. So is it simply for press? Another thing, allegedly Kyle not wearing her wedding ring wasn't just one incident, it's been several incidences. And allegedly she replaced it with like a sort of a simple silver band. We also saw that same band on Morgan Wallace while she was performing. You know, these content creators on TikTok, they're investigative. They will investigate it. They have proof, they have pictures. I don't have pictures of the ring, but I do have photos from the wedding that shows a very separated Kyle and Mauricio. Now, if you've been listening to my channel for a long time, then you know the rumors that have been around about Kyle and Mauricio. They've been around for a very long time. We saw a very different Kyle last season, okay? I don't know if it was the alcohol. I'm not sure what it was, but she was, I mean, in that party where she was in the bodysuit with like the sheer dress and she was throwing her legs up in the air. I mean, it was like a single woman, not a married woman. It was very much a different Kyle. Now we know this year she's not allegedly drinking. She's quit drinking. So maybe we're going to get a different version of her. And I almost feel like she quit drinking because she saw herself last year on camera, in my opinion. I'm not saying she looked bad one way or the other. I'm saying Kyle holds herself to, I think, a higher caliber, and maybe she was a little bit embarrassed by what she saw last year. Again, guys, let's not forget we do have some different production working in the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills that we didn't have prior to last year. If you remember correctly, people really thought we were going to see an exposure of Kyle and Kim, Kathy, or whatever, only because of the fact that Kyle is a silent producer and that she gets given a great edit every year. So last year was really the first time we didn't see her get this amazing edit, and I'm sure a lot of that could have been cut, but new production, new people, they left it in and they felt like we wanted to see it. So other rumors containing Mauricio, I've done deep dives on this and I'm happy to do another one because I'm practically an expert in it, but it would be about the transgender that they wrote a book about their experience in the egg trade in Hollywood and working Hollywood Boulevard. Think guys, we have to remember this happened like 80s and 90s, early 2000s. Think Pretty Woman. When the egg workers would work the sidewalk, they were dressed to the nines, okay? Like gorgeous. Hollywood Boulevard. And in the movie, right, he rolls up beside and picks them up. Hollywood is a place where you can buy anything that you want. If you have money, money will get you whatever sick fetish, whatever it could be. You can find it in Hollywood. That's the place you're going to find it. If you can find it in Hollywood, it probably doesn't exist. So it's not crazy to think that Mauricio allegedly was hitting up some of the egg workers on Hollywood Boulevard, fulfilling his ever fantasies. Allegedly, she wrote the book was I forget the name of the book, but I do have it posted in previous posts and maybe I'll include it in this in the comments for you guys. But the transgender, they said that he would come along Hollywood Boulevard, he picked picked them up, took them back to their place. And I think she recognizes as she, so I'm going to use that because on the cover of the book, so she says that he comes in and she gives everyone a choice of either two people or one. Obviously the price is different and the holes and all of that. And she alleged that he was like into another person joining. And this woman wrote this book. She did not get hit with a lawsuit. Okay. She also spoke about her experience dealing with Eddie Murphy. So she didn't get sued for that either. Eddie Murphy has allegedly been the topic of many different sex workers books that get published or posted. However, when this happened with Mauricio, it was very upsetting to Kyle. And if you remember in the episode that her and Lisa Vanderpump, I think it was a real turning moment in their relationship when allegedly Lisa Vanderpump had put these magazines into Brandy's suitcase, and the magazines on the cover of them were stories about how Mauricio was on the Hollywood Boulevard. Because once this book came out, people really started to talk, right? It wasn't just the author of the book that was saying it at that point. It was really all over the place, okay? Not just talking about that specific experience, but other people talking about their experiences, okay? There was even a girl once who alleged that her friend had hooked up with him in the lobby of a hotel, and they had DM'd, I think it was Doxy. It was a gossip site, and they told them what happened. So I'm not saying one way or the other. I'm just saying these are some of the situations that we're seeing coming out of Beverly Hills, some of the things people have started talking about. I think that it's very likely this is all for press. I think we are going to see it on the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills, but I don't think it's going to be anything like we think it might be. It's going to be very soft, very gentle, not very deep, and it's going to be very, very surface as it pertains to Kyle and Mauricio. Again, guys, they have two series now, Buying Beverly Hills. And they're also, let's think about this. You know how Teresa Giudice on the Real Housewives of New Jersey, when she does her wedding special, everyone that's filming, everyone gets paid, everyone's eating, everyone's getting a paycheck, right? So when Kyle and Mauricio does Netflix's Buying Beverly Hills, guess what? Everyone in the family is getting paid. He's getting paid. Alexia's getting paid. Farrah's getting paid. Everyone in the family is eating. And they're eating good. They're eating off Netflix paychecks, Bravo paychecks, right? So when you have an opportunity to feed your whole family, that's generational wealth there. Literally, even if you went in with nothing, even if you didn't have any money at all and you went into that Netflix series and signed a contract for 5 years or whatever, the endorsements, the money that you would make would be insane, and it would create a generational wealth. Okay. He's already created generational wealth with the agency alone. So this is probably just like an added bonus, like because the wealthy, the rich get richer, like more money, more problems, the more you make, the more you spend type situations, right? So they got a lot of money riding on these Beverly Hills Netflix, right? So if they divorce and this is a whole thing, like you're talking about breaking up, a pretty big Netflix series, even though she wasn't on last year, I think we're going to see more of her this year because of the fact that fans were like, where was Kyle? We didn't see anything of Kyle. And I think at first they didn't want to muddy Buying Beverly Hills and have people think that it was going to be like the Housewives. They wanted to kind of get a different genre, a different audience, if you will. But I think this year they're going to bring her on more because they would like to have, I'm sure that, the fans of the Real Housewives watching Buying Beverly Hills. Why wouldn't they? More ratings, more money, right? So, guys, I just wanted to come on and let you guys know these are some of the rumors we're hearing about Kyle Richards. They are just rumors. I wouldn't think too much into them if they worked through that whole transgender when he was in a book published for sleeping around. You can work through anything at this point, okay? Maybe she is not. Some people are saying even Morgan Wallace could be a sister. I don't think she's a sister. I just don't, because Kyle's dad was very, very up there in age when he had Kyle and Kim to begin with. So and Morgan is very much younger than Kyle. So I don't know, maybe she's a distant cousin, maybe who knows their family dynamic. We don't know their family tree. I'm sure that Kyle's going to come out with the secret eventually, but I just want you guys to remember that she has been in the business for a long time. She's a PR machine. She knows what works. She knows what sells. And right now she knows she's got to keep Beverly Hills going, because we don't have Lisa Rinna. And for that reason, I think she's going to be really working hard this season. And part of her working hard is putting her relationship out there and letting people speculate that there's trouble in paradise when there isn't, when nothing's changed. When the only thing that's changed is she took off her wedding ring. That's it. Um, so I want to know what you guys think. Make sure that you guys comment below. I'm going to do a little bit of a deep dive. So just stay tuned. I just wanted to keep this video short and informative for you guys. So I'm going to do a deep dive into the transgender book and all of that. So stay tuned and have a great day. Make sure you